Alright guys, I am here with my review of WWE ECW December to Dismember 2006. And I know a lot of people wanted me to review this show because it was just so bad. And it was bad. But the other old pay-per-view I did was Uncensored 1999, and I thought, with what everybody told me about December to Dismember, it's like the lowest buy rate in history, that this would set the standard. And for all these other old pay-per-views I end up reviewing, that this one would be what I compare everything to. Like, well, it's bad, but it's not December to Dismember. And I have to say that at the end of the day, Uncensored 99 was probably worse. If only for the fact that this show had better matches. Billy Kidman versus Mikey Whipwreck at WCW was a good match. That was pretty much it. This show had the tag match, another good match. The Chamber wasn't that bad. So I understand why people don't like this show, and it really, really sucks most of the time because it's calling itself ECW in my opinion. And people actually expected this show to be good. I did not. I watched Uncensored expecting it to be bad, and that's what it was. But back when this show came out in 2006, people expected it to be relatively okay, I guess. I mean, I don't know what went wrong. Is there like some backstory to this? I don't know. Like, why were there no matches? I mean, it was a very short show, and they didn't really build anything. They kind of just threw matches together. If they knew they had a pay-per-view, why did this happen? I don't know. Maybe there's something I don't know about it. I don't want to make this whole video about why the WWE ECW sucked. We already all know that. The best analogy... What's a good analogy to explain why this show is so bad? I guess for me, you have to look at WWE ECW like an old restaurant you used to go to. Like, say there was a restaurant that sold hamburgers, and they were the best hamburger restaurant in town. You and your friends would go after school. You had a lot of nostalgia for the place. You knew the people who worked there. Everybody got along. Just a wonderful place. And a few years later, you know, everybody moves on, and you come back and you all get together and you want to watch that old, or you want to go back to that old restaurant and eat those hamburgers one more time. And you find out it's a Chinese restaurant. And it just doesn't work. If you know anything, you know you don't go to a restaurant that doesn't specialize in hamburgers and order one. Go to a Chinese restaurant, order a hamburger, it's going to taste like shit. And that's what this was. This was WWE, a Chinese restaurant, trying to sell hamburgers to the old people who love those hamburgers. And rightfully, the people shit all over it because it was horrible. There were people chanting things throughout this show saying this isn't extreme, this is entertainment, all types of, we want a refund, this is bullshit. People were very upset about this. And I don't know if Paul Heyman was sabotaged by Vince. I don't know about any of that type of stuff. But I do know this, and I believe this, that the only reason Vince brought back ECW to begin with is he was tired of fans always chanting ECW for big spots. Or when RVD would come out. So Vince decided he's going to bring ECW back and just destroy it so that nobody ever wants to chant it again. And trust me, it worked. I mean, he just made this show so bad. It's like, look, I told you they couldn't draw. I told you nobody gave a shit about these guys. Well, yeah, when you limit them so much, but I don't want to get into all that. I'm just going to review this show to the best of my abilities and get this over as quickly as humanly possible. I'm sure I'm going to see worse shows in the future. I didn't think this one was that bad. It just has that stigma where it wants to be ECW and it fails miserably. So, we got Taz and Joey Styles on commentary. The first match is the Hardy Boys versus M&M. Apparently they attacked the Hardys on ECW or something, I don't know. This match was long. You could tell they didn't have anything else. They're like, you guys are the opener, get out there because you're the best we got. And they went out there and they had a good match. Eminem used the Poetry in Motion. They tried to use the Hardy Boys finishers. There were some good dives in this match. Nitro tries to dropkick Jeff and hits Melina. Matt Hardy hits a double twist of fate, and then Hardy hits a swanton on both of them for the win. It was a good match, and this show didn't have many of them. So I was already happy about this, and I was thinking, okay, we're off to a good start, like Kidman and Mikey Whipwreck. Then we get a RVD promo on why he's risking it all in the Extreme Elimination Chamber. And then we get Matt Striker versus Balls Mahoney. Striker cuts a decent promo, makes his match Extreme Rules. The rules are going to be extremely enforced. I thought this was good. He says that there's no eye gouging, hair pulling, moves off the top rope, no foul language. Balls wins with a spinning spine buster, so the fans were happy. It was a decent match, probably not for a pay-per-view. The matches, some of them were okay, but for a pay-per-view they wanted people to pay for, not good. And when you tack on ECW and people go in expecting a certain level of extreme, not one table spot in this entire pay-per-view. Just for an example right there. So, but this match was decent. So after watching this, I'm thinking, damn, this is already better than Uncensored. It's already got 2 good matches instead of just 1. But anyway, backstage we see CM Punk warming up, and then we switch over to Sabu, who has been laid out. The first thing that popped into my mind is that Extreme Reunion they just had where Sabu had to be taken to the hospital for something or other, and it showed him on the stretcher. In real life, he looked just like this. So, not to make light of that situation by any means, I hope for the best for Sabu, but it's what it reminded me of. So the paramedics are checking on Sabu. Paul Heyman comes up, he's freaking out. The fans are already chanting bullshit watching this on the screen. Then we get Sylvester Terkay and Elijah Burke versus the FBI, Guido and Mama Luke. This girl who was with them, Trinity, holy crap, this chick was wearing barely any clothes at all. Yeah. I don't know. So anyway, Elijah starts the match cutting a promo, but the fans just don't care. Pretty much, they would only pop for ECW originals like Tommy Dreamer. They did not care about this at all. Can you blame them, really? And Elijah's wearing this red hat, and then he gets it knocked off by Guido, and Guido puts it on. I don't know. Fans are chanting for tables again. Terkay hits Mama Luke, and then Elijah Burke hits the stroke for the win. Terkay hits a muscle buster on him afterwards, on Guido, and the fans chant TNA. Taz actually asked, what was that move called? And Joey Styles says, I believe it's called a muscle buster. And Taz says, I knew that, I was just messing around. Seriously, Taz? Get the hell out of here, man. You didn't know shit. So, anyway, backstage, Sabu's going into the ambulance while RVD and CM Punk look on. Then we get Daivari with the Great Khali versus Tommy Dreamer. Khali pulls down the ropes, causing Dreamer to take a spill to the outside floor. The referee sees this and kicks Khali out. Dreamer is about to hit the DDT. He starts to get some offense. He's hitting all his moves. He's going for the DDT. Daivari rolls him up. Beats Tommy Dreamer 1, 2, 3. Fans are outraged at this. Tommy Dreamer chases him up the ramp. And the Great Khali comes out holding Tommy Dreamer, hits the double-handed chokeslam on him on the ramp, which was a sick bump. And then they play this like Tommy Dreamer may never walk again. He's laying down on the ramp like he's planking, and the officials are checking on him, and he's like, I can't feel my feet. It was just so ridiculous. But I have to admit, it was strange to see Khali in such, well, I'm not going to say good shape, but he was in better shape than he is now for obvious reasons. Moving on, Kelly and Mike Knox versus Kevin Thorne and Ariel. If you don't know who those guys are, they're supposed to be vampires or some lame shit. Ariel tags herself in, and this chick loves to show her ass off. And I mean literally. Any chance Ariel gets, she's jumping up and down in the skirt, she's bending over. Any chance she gets, she's trying to show that thing off. She tags herself in. She starts to beat up Kelly Kelly. Kelly tries to tag in Knox, but apparently she's got a crush on CM Punk, so Knox looks at the hand, and he walks away, goes up the ramp. Ariel hits a leg sweep choke slam for the win. Afterwards, she continues to beat up Kelly Kelly, and this causes the Sandman to come out. Sandman comes to the ring. He does his gimmick. He cracks the beer on his head. He comes to the ring. He canes Kevin Thorne. He chases him away, and then he drinks some more beer, and that was it. Pretty much the same thing Sandman's been doing for the past 15 years. So, I didn't really pop for this. At this point, it was kind of sad. The show was already gone. At this point, there was nothing that could save it, especially an intergender tag match. Fans were already wanting a refund, so it was already bad times. And that was the last match. Now it's time for the main event. Paul Heyman comes out with the Goon Squad. He says that the day of Sabu, RVD, and Sandman has come to an end. Heyman says this ECW is led by the Big Show, and a fan actually yells in the crowd, "Who's going to retire next year?" Like, he's saying all these guys are done, yet he's talking about the Big Show as his, I guess, champion, who's going to carry the company, and someone's just like, yeah, he's going to retire next year. Then we get the Extreme Elimination Chamber. This match, it's an Elimination Chamber, but with weapons. Lame weapons. A table, like you can use that, and they don't. A crowbar, so you know what that's going to consist of. A lot of the stomach hits and a lot of the to the back hits, and a chair, and a baseball bat wrapped in barbed wire, which they were putting over big time. So the match has the Big Show, Punk, Test, and Bobby Lashley in the pods. Rob Van Dam, Hardcore Holly start the match. Hardcore Holly is Sabu's replacement. CM Punk is the first released from the chamber. RVD actually gets busted open here. There was some blood. Test is released from the chamber. RVD lays everybody out with a chair, and then hits a frog splash on Punk, eliminating him, who was obviously the most over. So, of course, he's got to be eliminated first. Test eliminates Hardcore Holly with a big boot. I didn't even know he was eliminated until later when they said he was eliminated, because the ref is counting, Hardcore Holly doesn't kick out, and the ref just stops the count like he did kick out, and then he says, no, that was 3. Even Taz and Styles are like, what the hell just happened? So there was a botch there. I don't know if Test was supposed to beat him, if Hardcore Holly was ready to... I don't know, miscommunication, but that was a pretty big botch since it involved an elimination. Test puts a chair on RVD's head and hits an elbow drop off the top of Big Show's pod. That was pretty sick. I like that bump a lot. He lands right on the chair. RVD sells it great. Looked awesome on TV. Then he eliminates RVD. Fans are chanting, "Where's our refund now?" So we have Test, Big Show, and Lashley. Lashley's up next, so the Goon Squad tries to prevent him from being released. They're trying to keep him in the pod. They won't let him get unlocked. So Bobby Lashley takes the table. He pops the chains off the top, and he just climbs out of the pod. He hits a spear on Test, eliminating him. He's doing a stare down with Big Show. Big Show comes out next with a barbed wire bat. He's swinging the bat at Lashley. Lashley's using the chair to block all the hits. And Big Show gets busted open going through a pod. That was pretty cool. And it was also cool how Big Show was stuck in the pod and then just uses his own power to break the other side. That was pretty awesome. However, Lashley hits a spear on Big Show, gets the win, becomes the new ECW World Champion. That was it. That was December to Dismember. Matches, not so bad. Tommy Dreamer versus Daivari, who cares? I mean, that's not a good pay-per-view match. Elimination Chamber was alright. Had a few other matches that were okay, but it felt like you were watching the ECW TV show just for 2 hours longer, a little over 2 hours longer, and you're paying for it. And I think that's what pissed a lot of people off. If this was just the ECW show, it would have been fine, but they wanted money for this crap. And did not get it. Like I said, lowest buy rate in WWE history. So that's it, really. I thought the show was pretty bad, especially when you take that into consideration. So that's really all I have to say about it. It definitely was disappointing, and I'm sure people were looking forward to this and were very disappointed in 2006, and I can't blame them. So that's it. That's my review of 2006 December to Dismember. I hope you guys liked this video. I'm going to be trying to do a lot more of these in the future. Next, I'll probably be doing some old WCW stuff again, trying to get some more of these out as quickly as possible. So I hope you guys like it. Leave your thoughts on this pay-per-view in the comments below, and thanks for watching. Bye.